AITA not putting up my DIL's painting in our new home and telling her that I am not a fan of her art. It is 24 by 36, it's big. We downgraded our house. There is no place to put it that I won't see it every day. We have 1 bathroom, 2 bedrooms, one that is my office, the living room and kitchen. The basement is my husband's workshop, and he doesn't like it either. I seriously dislike how she does portions. I don't like that the waists are tiny and the butts and boobs are huge. Not my type of artwork, I don't. Like it, I don't wish to decorate my home with art I don't like and have to see every day. If I gave her artwork, I wouldn't expect her to hang it up in her house if she didn't like it. Even if I spent months on it because it is not my home. From comment, Gin. My DIL has been married to my son for a few years, and she has a side gig of making art. She has a habit of giving paintings to friends and family as gifts. I think most people like them, but for me, I am not a huge fan of her art style. I am much more a nature person than someone that wants scenes with people. Also, when she paints people, they are stylized. My husband and I bought a house, and we have fully moved in. My DIL gave me a painting of someone sitting at the beach because she knows we like the beach. I don't like it. The woman in the painting looks off. Her legs are too long and she is too curvy. I know it is her style of painting, but I just don't like it. At the time, I got the gift I thanked her for, and I thought that would be the end of it. I put the painting in the garage and kind of forgot about it. I bought an ocean painting for the living room. My DIL visited the other day because she wanted to pick up some of our old 4th of July decorations. Our house is smaller now, so we are purging decorations. We were in the garage and she saw her painting there. She was surprised and asked why it wasn't in the house. I told her I didn't have a spot to put it. She kept pressing and mentioned I got a new painting for her living room. I told her again that I don't have a spot for it. She then picked up the painting and said she could help find a spot. I told her no. She asked why not, and I decided to be honest. I told her I am not a fan of the artwork. She got quiet after that, and I gave her the decoration. I got a call from my son, and he was mad. He told me I need to apologize and hang up her painting, that his wife has been crying and it took her hours to make. I told him I'm not hanging it up, and that resulted in an argument. I need some opinions. I feel like it's my house, I can decorate it how I want. Story 2, AITA for refusing to dine with my mom after she ordered Ferret Sauce at a Mexican restaurant. I'm a 31M and my mom, Debbie, is early 60s F. Debbie is a very sheltered person, for lack of a better word. She's never left our state and rarely even leaves my hometown. Imagine the kind of white lady who thinks ranch is spicy. That's my mom, Debbie. Well, she and I go to dinner a couple times per month. Debbie surprisingly likes Mexican food, but she always egregiously mispronounces words and embarrasses herself. For example, she says tortilla like it rhymes with Manila, chipotle like it rhymes with bottle, and tamale like it rhymes with pale. There are other examples too, but that's all I can think of off the top of my head. Last weekend, we went to one of our favorite local places. They have a platter with mole sauce that she likes, but she often forgets the word. She asked the waiter for ferret sauce, and he couldn't figure out WTF she wanted. She said, "It's a small animal like a groundhog, but I don't remember." She meant mole, which I guess she mispronounces as mole like the animal. Well, because of that, I don't want to go out to non-American restaurants with her anymore. I think she comes off as ignorant and I get so embarrassed. WIBTA if I told her to try harder to pronounce things appropriately, or else I won't go with her anymore. Story 3 AITA for leaving my sister after she showed up with her boyfriend. I, 20F, organized a day out with my sister, 21F. For simplicity, I'll call her Anna. We agreed to go for brunch to start with and then do some shopping, get our nails done, and maybe finish off with a film if there was anything worth seeing. All was fine, and I was really looking forward to spending some time with her. Jump forward to the day and I arrive at the place first and grab a table. Anna arrives a few minutes later, but I'm shocked to see she's brought her boyfriend, 23M, with her. A little bit of background: Anna tends to only date guys for a couple of months before getting bored with them, and she'd only been seeing this guy for about 3 weeks at this point. I try to hide my surprise and be civil, and we order food. When he leaves to go to the toilet, I ask my sister why she's brought him along since we already agreed we're going to be doing typical sisterly things and it doesn't really suit him. She said she didn't want him to feel left out, whatever that means. I said okay, and that I assumed he'd be paying for his own food. She tells me no, it's your turn. We take turns paying whenever we meet up. I was completely shocked that she expected me to pay for his food as well. I think she could tell, so she said that she'd cover his order. Honestly, the whole thing really annoyed me, and I didn't like the idea of going round stores, trying clothes on, etc. with this guy following along. So after we paid the bill and were leaving the restaurant, I made some excuses and left. Now my sister is messaging me asking what happened and I don't know what to say. Story 4. AITA for wanting to get home at 3 a.m. Hi all. A friend's wedding is coming up. It's about 4 hours away from where my friend group lives. When we got the invite, my husband and I RSVP'd yes and figured we'd just drive there and back the same day. We heard that 2 other single friends, James and Gabby, were also attending the wedding, so we offered to drive them. This was several months ago, and Gabby had voiced some trepidation about the length of the drive, but we hadn't discussed anything else. Now the wedding is coming up in a few weeks, and Gabby reached out to the other 3 of us who were planning on driving together and suggested we get an Airbnb and drive home on Sunday instead. The wedding runs from 4:30 to 10:30, so we'd probably be home around 2:30 to 3 a.m. if we drove straight home after. My husband and James are somewhat ambivalent about it, willing to spend the money on the Airbnb, but I really would prefer not to. I'm someone who would rather crash in my bed and have a lazy morning than sleep in an unfamiliar place and feel like the whole day is gone traveling home. My husband and I often will do late drives, which I know perhaps feels unsafe to those who haven't done them before, but isn't a worry for me. Also, my husband is going to be on an extended work trip for that month, and I'll only be seeing him on the weekends. It feels like I was prepared to just sacrifice the day for the wedding, and now I'm being asked to sacrifice the whole weekend and pay for the privilege. I know that as the drivers, we ultimately get the final say, but I feel like I'm being domineering by insisting that we come home that night. To add a complication, I know that both Gabby and James have various sleep issues, and I'm not sure what messing up their schedule would do. For me, I just come home, crash, sleep in, and am good to go, but perhaps it would have a negative impact on them for days. As an additional complication, when I asked the bride about the end of time, I learned that another friend from our area is also going to the wedding. I haven't asked her yet what her plans are, but I feel like to be a good friend, I should reach out and see. However, my car is a normal-sized sedan, and I know I personally wouldn't want to sit 3 in the back for a 4-hour drive. So I suggested that maybe Gabby could drive with the additional friend and they could spend the night. That way everyone could be happy. Making an assumption that the new friend isn't as crazy and intense of a night owl as my husband and I are. Gabby later responded that she feels like she's been uninvited to accommodate the new friend and that when she RSVP'd, it was with the assumption of the carpool of 4. I honestly just want to make everyone happy and feel included, but also want some alone time with my husband instead of spending the whole weekend with friends. AITA?